Here's the first of these 8 that is definitely going to elicit some head scratching and some opinions. And I love to get into the conversation with y'all. The Atlanta Hawks, not quite yet. They could have easily fell into the doomed from the jump group for this past season, but count me as maybe one of the few believers in Trae Young. I think that he is one of the best orchestrators and point guards that the game has. And if you remember, this Atlanta Hawks team, led by Trae Young, did go to the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2020-21. So count me as a believer for Trae Young. I am also a huge believer in the Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels. I think they have one of the brightest defensive stars who will continue to emerge as a two-way threat in this league. It was only Daniels' 3rd year in the NBA. He finishes as runner-up to Evan Mobley for Defensive Player of the Year. He's named All-NBA Defensive First Team, and he wins the Most Improved Player award. These Atlanta Hawks, at times last year, they showed that they can bang with the big teams in the East. They won games against the Cavs. They won games against the Boston Celtics. But they also lost games to the Washington Wizards and a whole lot of other bad teams. That's how you end up with a 40-42 record. And you lose in the play-in and overtime to a Miami Heat team that their season was doomed from the jump. But count me as a believer in both Trae Young and Dyson Daniels, and for the moves that the Atlanta Hawks made in the offseason, adding Kristaps Porzingis, Zachary Rizache, another French bigman, the former overall #1 pick, if you remember. I know a lot of people slept on last year's draft, especially the 2 French bigmen in Rizache and Sarr that went 1-2, but Rizache had a low-key very good rookie season, and I am high on the French big man moving forward. So count me in on the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels and company as a team that this past year, they weren't there quite yet, but I like them moving forward.